activities just as you unfold. And that's what we do, and that's why we are called Voice of the People TV. And you already know,
we got you all covered.
Here, you have more than a voice.
Thank God it's Friday, and definitely it's another welcome to you for being a part of Locker Room on this auspicious day as we take a look at football matters on this platform. We're always here Monday to Friday to give you all the hot takes in the exciting world of football. My name remains Jerry Apeliohai, and we've got a thrilling show for you today, and it promises to be exciting as the usual suspect. Join me on this very interesting day talking about Ikechukwu and Mayowa, who are ready to break down all the action and share their hot takes on what's going down in the football world. I advise that we get into it. While we're getting into it, you can subscribe, talking about those who are watching us via our YouTube channel, and you're advised to also turn on that notification bell. And don't forget, you can call us via the WhatsApp number showing on your screen to join the conversation. Those who are watching us on LCL TV, you can call in via the WhatsApp number as well, showing on your screen. And I'll introduce our guys. First of all, I start with Ikechukwu, who joins us once again. Ikechukwu, it's great to have you join us once again on Locker Room. So much to talk about in exciting world of football.
Yes, Jerry. Good evening, Jerry, and good evening to our viewers. Thank God it's Friday. And I'm hoping that after this show, you take me out to get those. To celebrate you've not celebrated your league title now.
No. I think I'll prefer to celebrate with my better half or somebody. You know.
At least just.
No, I don't do hardware. I prefer software. Yes. Go and find your software. I'll have a good Friday with it. All right, Bayo, I don't know. He's still trying to look for some transfer business for Manchester United. It's understandably why he's still looking for the signings, and we've just got information that Onana is now showing his promises as a striker. Maybe there will be no need to sign Mbuemo. Just switch him from the goalkeeping role and make him a striker. Who knows? He can deliver the goals that win Manchester United the league title. Well, let's start from the home front, where former Liverpool forward El Hadji Diouf has expressed strong support for a potential Premier League partnership between Nigerian striker Victor Osimhen and Mohamed Salah at Liverpool. Diouf, speaking to African Foot, believes the duo could form a deadly attacking force due to their complementary styles and proven goal-scoring abilities in their respective leagues. Osimhen, who recently finished as top scorer in the Turkish league with Galatasaray, has been linked with a move to England, while Salah remains one of the Premier League's top attackers. Diouf highlighted the success of the previous Salah-Sadio Mane partnership and suggested Osimhen could bring a similar dynamic alongside the Egyptian star. And Diouf emphasized that the contrasting yet compatible attributes of both players, Salah's pace and finishing, combined with Osimhen's strength and movement, would make Liverpool's attack even more potent. He believes the pairing could significantly boost Liverpool's title aspirations in the Premier League. I think if this all right, because last time in Turkey we're talking about the two highest goal scorers in their various leagues last season coming to pair together in one club side. I think I don't want that kind of a pairing is as sweet as eating pineapple, you know. The taste in the mouth of any coach that will have such a pairing definitely will be exciting for any club side.
Well, it looks good on paper. It looks very attractive, but I think this is not going to be a pairing that's going to deliver a lot of goals, and I'll tell you why. Mo Salah's style of play is actually, he's very creative, and he's also a player who relies on people to actually help him, get the numbers. The reason why he actually excelled, under the Jurgen Klopp's style of play that Gegen presses is the fact that Mane and Firmino are actually also excellent ball players and they actually play to his strength to actually help him get a lot of goals. Now for Victor Osimhen, if you watch him at Napoli, you understand that there are a lot of persons like actually played. In fact, the team played for him and then he delivered a lot of goals in that particular team. Now, is Osimhen a player who is known to actually, play for a team or play for somebody to actually get the goals? Is exactly where the problem with, this pairing is. He's a very good player. He's a very good goal scorer. But then somebody has to actually play the second man, up front. And I don't think that person is going to be Mo Salah. And that's exactly where the problem will come. There's going to be a clash of, ego up front. There's going to be a clash of who wants to actually get the highest number of goals. Look at strikers all over the world, those that have actually, made their marks. Like Karim Benzema had to take take the back seat for Cristiano Ronaldo for that team to really excel. So somebody has to really, step back for the other person. Is it Mo Salah that is going to step back for Osimhen? And that's exactly where the problem is going to come because somebody has to step back. And Osimhen is not a player you can really rely on when it comes to creativity. Firmino did an excellent job for Mo Salah. Sadio Mane also did an excellent job for Mo Salah. So if this pairing is going to work, then there's somebody, they need an extra person who is going to be very, very creative in that particular attack that's going to bring out the best in, particularly Victor Osimhen. Because for Mo Salah, yes, you can actually say he's quite creative on his own and can really always do very well. But this sort of pairing, you look at it from outside and it's going to look very good. But when they step into the field, it's going to be a huge clash of, who's going to really lead the line. And I don't think Mo Salah is going to be willing to actually step back with Victor Osimhen. And Osimhen is also not used to, playing behind somebody. So that's exactly where the problem with this partnership is going to be.
All right, to understand that Myra also gets to join us. And El Hadji Diouf has spoken. He has played for Liverpool and he has played football at the highest level. And he says that if Osimhen and Salah should link up at Liverpool, there will be goals galore. But Ikechukwu disagrees that it's not going to bring goals for Liverpool. Instead, it's going to be a clash between both players. Maya, do you agree or disagree?
Well, it's always amazing to me. But the thing is I think it's going to work out. However, Ikechukwu said something that is going to come to play. One person will have to step back for somebody, and the other person will have to play a much more bigger role. However, we've seen over the years that strikers evolve over the time. Remember, a particular Rooney was a top 9 for Manchester United, but as time went on, he stepped back. He became more of a playmaker than a top 9, and it worked out. The answer is this. The answer is in the assist of Mo Salah. We all know that Mo Salah can drop deep and link up play. He can also play as a playmaker. The answer is also in the assists of the number of assists Mo Salah has. Also remember, before the extension of Mo Salah's contract, there were a whole lot of back and forth as regards that. Mo Salah is already on his way out. Probably maybe after these 2 years with Liverpool, probably maybe the best they will offer him is probably a 1-year contract. Mo Salah will have to play behind a Victor Osimhen, and Mo Salah can do that very well. That does not take away the fact that Mo Salah will still be able to contribute his own bit, in the goal scoring. A lot of people might not say it, but if you look at how Mo Salah has played, how Mo Salah played last season, the pace is no longer there as it used to be. He's still fast, but it's no longer there as it used to be. And that's the reason why, if you look at how he played last season, despite the fact that he was able to score a whole lot of goals, he was also very sweater in dropping deep and conserving his conserving his runs into the box, because he doesn't have that kind of pace anymore. And that is where an Osimhen will come in. Mo Salah will be playing behind an Osimhen, and they can do it vice versa. So I think it's going to work. The big question will be will Arne Slot be able to manage the ego of the two players? Because definitely, when a player has gotten to his peak and it's time they want to start facing the player out, you need to handle it with care such that it doesn't backfire and affect the synergy of the team. The big question will be, will Arne Slot be able to, work with the two of them and manage their ego such that it's beneficial to the team. If Arne Slot can be able to do that, I think this will be one of the most deadliest, partnership in the EPL if it actually comes true.
All right, and of course, it has to go about how the manager is able to manage the situation better. I remember it was going to be an issue at a point in time between Sadio Mane and Salah, but somehow I think Jurgen Klopp was able to manage it. There was a season, I think that first season, when Mane and Salah played together. Salah scored lots of goals, if you notice, and he had about 34 goals in the Premier League that season. And the following season, there were already issues about the players, that there was issues between Mane and Salah. The following season, I think both of them did 33 goals, if I remember, alongside Aubameyang. And you could notice that Jurgen Klopp was able to manage a situation where everybody had a free-for-all. And it was now Firmino who was the one supplying the both of them at a point in time. Even when they are not supplying each other, Firmino had to step back as a false nine and make sure that they got all the goals. And eventually everybody was happy. I think at the end of the day, it's now left on the coach to satisfy 2 hungry goal scorers and make sure that maybe there's a Florian Wirtz and the likes of Szoboszlai and Jota will make sure that they get equal amount of assists. But Salah over time has proven that he's not shy to assist. He's not afraid to assist any other player to shine.
Jerry.
He did that last season. That was why he was the highest assist, the playmaker of last season.
Jerry, you remember the season where Mane and Salah had, an issue on the pitch over Mane expecting Salah to, give him a ball that he would just easily slot.
And at a point, Mane became jealous.
Now the problem is this. Before Mane came to Liverpool, he's not even a proven goal scorer. So it's not like you were expecting him.
He's a proven goal scorer, but it's not like that amount.
That's what I'm saying. It's not a proven goal scorer. It's not a man you rely on to actually, lead the.
He was more or less a winger who was just assisting with goals.
Exactly.
Not the main man.
Not a Victor Osimhen caliber of player.
Yeah. He was not a 9.
If you look at the MSN, Neymar, Suarez, Messi, right? The three of them have uncanny ability to produce goals and score goals. It was easy for them to actually move. And Lionel Messi's ego was very well managed, right, in that particular lineup. If you also remember when Zlatan Ibrahimovic came to Barcelona, Lionel Messi approached Pep Guardiola and asked if this guy is going to be leading the line. And if you remember, if you look at Zlatan's comments about Pep Guardiola, one of the, his anger was, you brought me here and then you played me behind. A player who has been known to who has established himself in Europe, and then you bring him into a team where another proven goal scorer is, somebody will have to step back. Two captains can never lead the ship. And Mo Salah, forget anything, he's still the leader of that Liverpool side. There's no how anything Liverpool does today as regards goal scoring or leading an attack is going to be through Mo Salah.
But I think, unfortunately, Osimhen has not played in a team as big as Liverpool. He has played in big sides, but not as big as Liverpool. If he is coming to Liverpool, he should, unless he's not advising himself, he should be willing to know that there are other big stars in that team before he came in. And he should be able to at least blend in first. And I think the way Liverpool is run, most of the players see themselves as teammates, as family members, not as competitors. And the way the fans drive the players, you could see that the fans have a song for each player. For instance, at Napoli, it was every time Osimhen scores, he was getting all the attention. And I noticed that a lot of the Napoli players, some of them were jealous. And same with even Galatasaray, it's not getting to that because it's just his first season. And I know players like, I'm trying to remember the striker he met them, Icardi. They will be at a point where Icardi might feel, wow, he just came one season and you're stealing the shine and so on and so forth. But it's not going to be like that at Liverpool.
How are you certain?
What I'm certain is that Liverpool has had a pocket of players. Liverpool fans have songs for every of their major players in that
Jerry,
team.
you know that if it were not Jurgen Klopp, who was the manager of Liverpool at that time when Mane and Salah had that clash, that team would have had issues. Because Klopp is an experienced manager. He has managed the team to the UEFA Champions League final. He understands what it means to actually win a title. He's won the Bundesliga with Borussia Dortmund. So he understood what players' ego is. And in fact, he was the biggest character in the room at that point. In this Liverpool team, Salah is the biggest character in the room, including he's bigger than the coach.
No,
He's bigger than the coach.
No, the way Liverpool is being set up. If you notice,
No,
I want to
don't
disagree.
think so.
If Salah,
Is Salah not bigger than the coach? Is he not a bigger football personality?
He has a big figure, but that's been said. But when it comes to the dressing room, there's no room for a player to feel bigger than the coach. If not, there would have been problem in that Liverpool side as we speak.
No.
Calm down. Because before Jurgen Klopp left, do you know that Salah was not happy with Klopp? Do you know that?
But he couldn't do anything because the man is bigger.
Yeah. So the way the club is being run, no player can be bigger than. If you are proven to be bigger than the team or stubborn, if you notice, it was easy to push man away. Because
Jurgen Klopp was bigger.
No,
it goes back to the fact that the manager at that point.
Even the way the club is being run, no player can come and start being bigger than the
Jerry,
club.
you are just saying because it is here to happen in Liverpool. No problem.
The thing is that fine.
That's the thing now.
No, the thing is that let me tell you how the club is run. In a situation where no player can be too bigger than the club, even as big as Gerrard was, whenever a manager comes in, there's no how a Liverpool would tolerate a player going over the head of the coach, no matter how small the coach is. And we've never had the history that Steven Gerrard, as big as he was riding any manager. Even when Brendan Rodgers came, Brendan Rodgers had no experience. But Gerrard was still willing to listen and make sure he played for the team. Imagine
there was no clash of ego.
There was no clash of ego.
We are talking about.
Do you know that when Mario Balotelli, as difficult as he was, they made sure that he was written in his clause. You know, even if they know that even they know you are important.
These are entirely different scenarios.
Who can be more difficult than Mario Balotelli?
There was no reason. There was no reason for him to disrupt the dressing room. This is a reason.
It was written down in his contract.
No, Jerry, you are taking away the substance in this conversation. The substance is that we have two big figures that is going to be leading the line of Liverpool attack, and somebody has to confess. If the coach and the team cannot establish that, it's going to be a problem.
Of course, the coach will have the responsibility of doing that. But there's no how Osimhen will be coming to Liverpool and be feeling that he will be giving, how will I put it, they will be worshipping status, everybody will clear the road for him. No, he will have to work his way into the team. He will have to be humble. Because if he's coming there to feel he's already a king, he's going to have problems. At the end of the day, he might not succeed in achieving his aim.
Yeah, but the thing is this, the way Liverpool is set up, right? The way the board and how they run the club, you cannot have any player be rude to a coach or undermine a coach if you are already out of your. So there's always this backing of the coach additionally from. And the moment a coach has he gets to a lot of the decision how the team plays. That is Firmino and Salah era. Sometimes you see Salah drifting to the side. What probably happen is right. It might be constant. They might have to be changing. But what I will see will happen is this: most of the time, Osimhen will play as the point man, while Salah will drift to the right, depending on how you want to look at it, and Osimhen will become the point man. I think that's what will happen at the end of the day. Not that the two of them will be a together. It should just be more like an Osimhen leading, then a Salah and a Wit probably playing behind. Because I mean, if you look at how the two players play, Osimhen can play the way Salah plays. In the sense Osimhen is not fun drifting to the team wide. His movement is always as a top nine, but Salah can do that very well. He has proven that, and I'm saying it. Salah will transition just like the way Rooney transition. That's how Salah will transition. But I think the job lies on Ancelotti to be able to explain it to Salah, and for Salah to be able to understand it properly, for him to be able to transition gradually from a point man to a man that plays behind and Osimhen. And with the backing of the board, with how Liverpool is being run, I don't think Salah will be raising his shoulder. If what's come to worse, Salah will probably leave for an Osimhen. if he will not put his ego in check at the end of it. But I don't see that happening. I mean, the way Liverpool handles their player, I don't think any player will wake up one morning and behave like probably Jadon Sancho and the rest of them.
Yeah, I think discipline is highly one of the major reasons why Liverpool is still succeeding in terms of managing egos like Virgil van Dijk, and even when Trent Alexander-Arnold was going to run down his contract, we never heard that there was any rancor, with rumors or dressing room issues and so on and so forth. You saw that he was still disciplined till the last day of the season. The only time he had an issue with the fans when they heard, of course, they will not be happy that a player who grew from the ranks wants to leave the club side. They are used to players who want to stay at the club side. Of course, Liverpool, they like it or not, in the eyes of the fans, they see that loyalty is the watchword. And even when the issues happen with the fans, it took Jurgen Klopp to call the fans to order. And this is a man who has already left the club side. And when he called the fans to order, the following game, you could see that the fans started cheering him on, meaning that the fans understood the message and they took Jurgen Klopp's word, and you could see loyalty at the end of the day. And when he was leaving, there was still, the acrimony was gone. So there's a certain way Liverpool is run to make sure that even if Osimhen is coming, he knows that he's coming to a club that is bigger than the clubs he has played for before.
Okay. So you are saying if he comes, the team will play for Salah, not Osimhen, because they have to play for somebody.
The thing is that if the squad is scoring very well,
no, who would they play for? They have to play for somebody.
No,
somebody must be the arrowhead up front.
No, Liverpool is not set up to.
No,
Liverpool
is set up that way.
No. I think I totally disagree with that.
No, everything is set up that way.
No,
there must be an arrowhead up front.
No. There's no arrowhead.
Okay.
Everybody plays for the team. Any team.
Everybody play for somebody up front.
I think
every team has an arrowhead. No, Jerry.
No. You might be a major goal scorer. It doesn't mean that the team is built around you. No, the team is set up to make sure that everybody succeeds for the setup of the team. Any team that is built around one player, Jerry, definitely will have issues
semantics.
When that player gets injured. Forget about semantics.
Semantics.
If Salah is not available,
we all know that everything, including MSN, we know Messi was the focal point, even though he was playing from the side. We know. It's left for the coach to make the decision. That's exactly what I was saying. But as a Liverpool side, you have not watched Liverpool games. And you cannot tell me Jerry, under Jurgen Klopp, that team that won Champions League, who were they playing for up front? They were playing as a setup, as a team. Jerry, it's Salah. It was obvious. What are you saying? That was the same. Calm down. No, Jerry. Wait. Saw it now. Calm down. That season was the season that Liverpool played Barcelona at Anfield without Sadio Mane, without Firmino and Salah, and they came through as well to beat that Barcelona side after they lost 3-0 away. You forgot that the same season. If that team was focused on some certain players, they wouldn't have the belief to be able to beat Barcelona at Anfield. No, Jerry, no. I will not. You're changing the conversation. A team can lose. Wait, now, Jerry. A team can lose their best player and still go ahead to win difficult game. Nobody's saying that's not a team. Yeah, that's a different kettle of fish. No, we are saying a focal point. Yes, now. You are saying that a focal point means that the team plays for short player. If that player is not available, that team crumbles. No, now Jerry, that's not it. That team crumbles. That's not the definition of a team. No, any team that builds a team around a arrowhead that this is the major player they are playing for. No, Jerry, that team will have problem when that player gets injured. It's two different things. That's the truth. You can have weight. Maybe I don't understand English. Maybe I've lost my touch with English, understanding English.
The thing is this. The thing is this. If you look at the Champions League that Liverpool lost against Real Madrid, the one that got injured, and since that, after that injury, the Champions League was post. It was one way, and Madrid won a particular game, and that particular season, it was all about Salah. Salah was very, very instrumental in getting them to the final of that Champions League. But the moment Sergio Ramos got Salah injured in the first 15 minutes of that particular game, that was the end of that Champions League final. The same thing cannot be said for the run of the second Champions League for the second Champions League run where they won and they were able to beat a Barcelona. Yes, it was more in the success of that team, not making one point like they did in the previous final that they lost
Which was a
to
mistake.
Real Madrid side. So that particular season where they won the Champions League, it was more of everybody contributing their fair share. Yes, one person might have an edge over the other and that. However, it was more of if you take one key person, other people could pop up and score the goal. They were able to dispatch back. Even top strikers were not against Barcelona.
Okay, anyway, that will be a conversation definitely that will continue to go on. Let's see if it happens first. And the only worry I have is that if you have Osimhen and Salah in that Liverpool side, it means that in December, you're not going to be having two key players going into the round of games. And of course, if you take a look at the fixtures already, Liverpool has a pile of fixtures for December and January. It will be a very difficult one not to have Salah. And if you're going to have a striker, because by then, maybe Darwin Núñez would have gone. Of course, Darwin Núñez is it's not the player you want to rely on anyway. But that means if you're going to buy Osimhen alongside Salah, that means you also need to buy two more backup players. Because now you're going to be relying on likes of Harvey Elliott, Diogo Jota, and pray on Sunday that he doesn't get injured on Monday or the next weekend. So it's going to be a difficult decision to make for the talking about the owners and the managers of Liverpool. I trust their judgment. Definitely, they've made very good judgment in terms of player recruitment. And if they are going to recruit an Osimhen, for instance, they will surely have a plan on how they're going to manage the absence of these players when they eventually go for the AFCON. But let's talk about the NPFL, where Rivers United Football Club has officially appointed Yemi Daniel Olariwaju as the new chief coach following the departure of Evans Ogenyi, whose contract expired. The announcement was made by the Port Harcourt-based club on Friday, with Olariwaju joining the technical crew under the leadership of technical manager Finidi George. And I think they worked together when he was at Eimba, and recruiting him this time around to join him at Rivers United. It will make a great setup going into the league season. And of course, my money will be on Rivers United winning the league amongst other teams. Anyway, let's see how that pans out. But away from that, let's talk about Arsenal have joined the race to sign Crystal Palace midfielder Eberechi Eze, setting up a transfer battle with North London rivals Tottenham Hotspur. And the 26-year-old has attracted a significant interest following a standard season in which he played a crucial role in Palace's FA Cup triumph over Manchester City. History has taught us that when Arsenal sign players from Crystal Palace, they don't always turn out right. But I don't know. Eberechi Eze, if you're Eberechi Eze, Arsenal, Tottenham, who would you join?
Arsenal's ascendancy over the years, the way they've actually conducted themselves in the last 3 seasons is a good reason to actually want to be part of it. I mean, they are a more stable team than Tottenham. They're going into the Champions League as a strong team. You want to cement your place as a player for the Three Lions. You have to play for a top team in England, and Arsenal is just one of those teams you want to look at and say, yes, this is where I want to play. And playing for Arsenal is also going to come with huge benefit, because of course the chance of having two regular English internationals starting a game is going to come in handy for him. And I think aside Declan Rice, they don't have another Englishman who, Bukayo Saka as well. And sometimes something might happen, and then you must have opportunity to really play. And Arsenal, if you look at the way the team's set up right now, and the recruitment they've been having, that they have Zubimendi and Nogard to actually cover for Thomas Partey. Zubimendi can also play as a number 10, but then Eberechi Eze can play as a number 10 and a number 8. So it's going to be a very good cover for what's his name? Declan Rice, and also can also play better up front than using the likes of Moreno. So he can really operate better as a first time. Even from the flank, he can also play very well. In place of Gabriel Martinelli, and then push. They can also push Lisandro Trossard forward. So yes, it's going to bring a lot of options for Arsenal, and I think that's exactly why they're actually looking at him. It's going to be a very good deal for them if they eventually are able to actually poach him. But for the issue of Crystal Palace players moving to Arsenal and then struggling, yes, that's a thing. But then we can never say never. There's definitely someone who is bound to actually break the jinx. It might be that person who Arsenal actually needs, to actually turn their ties around. They've been knocking on the Premier League doors for 3 seasons now. Perhaps this might just be the final piece of the jig, so to actually get their puzzle right. And at the end of the day, they might just look at him as that man who they need to actually lift the Premier League title again.
All right, so my recent memory, I remember that when good players leave Crystal Palace to bigger club side, they find it difficult to manage the challenge. Eberechi joined up Crystal Palace in 2020, and already 5 years down the line. Would you advise him to make the move to Arsenal? We remember Zaha made the move to Manchester United. It was not a good one. Christian Benteke, I won't forget his time at Liverpool. Now, Eberechi is...
Benteke is better than Darwin Núñez.
I think they are of the same kettle. They are on the same league. As far as I'm concerned, see them. What is his name? That Newcastle fraud.
Caro,
Benteke,
no, Caro
Núñez. 3 of them, they are the same league.
I think Caro is the worst.
They are of the same category.
Benteke is even better.
Brother, they are of the same category as far as I'm concerned. They are in the same league. Maiwa, please go ahead.
But the thing is this. I think Arsenal, they are being like money. Why that striker? What do they good for them? But the focus should be on striker. To go another season paying Havertz and man, and they were not again and to the continue. If I were an Eberechi, I think an Arsenal proven in the last 5 years, not interested in winning anything. Yes, and was even for Tottenham to win the Europa League, and about 10 or 15 days after that, was the kind of mentality. Yeah. I don't think the two clubs, a club that looking at, because being a club that will give you more, living in that has not been anything. And looking at and the total.
All right. It seems like we're having some bit of technical issues. Getting to hear Marijuana there. Okay, quite a distortion there, but yeah, we can hear you, but there's a bit of distortion from your end due to the technical issues, but no fault of yours. But it is what it is. But I would have loved Marijuana to also talk about Manchester United goalkeeper Andre Onana. He surprised the fans in Cameroon by playing as a striker during a casual kickabout. I wonder Manchester United is not upset like the way Sevilla was upset. That anyway, I think Man United fans will not be too upset because they will pray that he gets injured so that they will be serious in buying Martinez. Because if he's available, the 29-year-old who received criticism for his performances in goal during the United's disappointing 15th place Premier League finish impressed spectators with his physicality, ball control, and ability to draw fouls in the forward role. So he was just falling around the pitch, drawing fouls. Okay, and I know United fans will pray that in the midst of all of that, he should have gotten injured. But it looks like since you are looking for a striker, it's hard time maybe you convert Onana to strike for you. What do you think? He has proven that he has the ability.
Well, this is actually not the first time. I think it's a Manchester United thing. It's actually not the first time. I remember a certain Fabian Barthez at some point. One of those charity games. He actually played also as a left winger in one of those charity games. And then a lot of people were like, "Wow, this guy is also very good with the ball." I mean, Onana. I don't think it's surprising. He's
You say he started as an outfield player before he converted to
his formative years, right? He actually played very well as a footballer, and also not as an outfield player, very much as a player playing in one of those positions. But the key thing here is actually the club he actually came from. Barcelona's academy is also known to actually help groom players, with the ball, right? Be you goalkeeper or an infield player, but I don't think he's at this point, right? He cannot even be a top striker for Manchester United under 17 team. Football has actually.
Never say don't underrate.
No,
what we saw. I think you cannot underrate.
What did you see?
I saw beautiful leg work there. I saw a player who could actually break into spaces, hold up play, and of course distribute and even attract fouls himself. Which means the FA has been assisting you with penalties. That means Onana will be making sure that you have enough for Bruno Fernandes to score more going into the next season and maybe win the league. Who knows?
See, Jerry, I know you're just trying to be sarcastic, but what we saw was very much not even it's not even qualified to be a standard amateur game, right? So perhaps it's actually just playing with people who are not even footballers in its real definition. And of course, because he's also a very good football player, that's exactly why we saw that. And because it's Onana, I mean, if it were to be someone who is very, very much unknown, it wouldn't have been a very interesting video to even watch. But then, because he's a goalkeeper for Manchester United, and that's why we're having this conversation. I mean, you can actually insult Manchester United, but don't even recommend Onana as a striker. Come on, because of what you saw. Jerry, please.
Maiwa, it would be unfair with what we saw to still say that Onana does not have what it takes. But Onana showcased his strength by shielding defenders and holding up play with ease. You could see beautiful football. Wow. He could even defend. You've been having issues with defenders. Look at the way he was defending. Wow. That's resilience. Wow. Come on. I think this is unfair. Maiwa, great to have you back. I know you went to have a glimpse of Onana once more. I know you are discussing with Ineos and the board. At least advise them to at least consider Onana to be up front. Who knows? He can give you the goals you need.
I mean, if there's a particular Mexican goalkeeper, very, very popular. He was one of the shortest goalkeeper, and he was even one of the persons that made, that made FIFA change the rule that as a player, if you start as a goalkeeper, you can't end as a forward player, because in games he has started out as a goalkeeper, finished up as a striker, and even scored about 2 or 3 goals in that particular game. So if Onana is a basket in the, while in the post for Manchester United, if he's conceding goals, if he cannot do better than conceding goals, if he can strike better, if he can be a better striker, why not convert him? I mean, we have paid so much for him. No club will offer us the same amount we bought him for. We are going to lose money if we want to sell him now, if we want to do away with him. Then they should convert him to a striker. It might sound funny, but if he will be much more useful as a striker than a goalkeeper, why not let's play him as a goalkeeper? I mean, he has shown that a whole lot of time outside the Manchester United side, he plays as a forward, and he actually does well as a forward. So why not let's consider him as a forward and probably look for a goalkeeper that probably help us and probably win games for us, rather than put somebody that will concede nothing less than a minimum of 80 goals a season.
Wow, okay. Currently on holiday, Onana responded to transfer speculation with a vague, we will see, when asked if he plans to leave. Since joining United from Inter Milan in 2023, he has made 72 Premier League appearances and kept 18 clean sheets. However, a squad overhaul under new manager Ruben Amorim this summer may include decisions about the goalkeeper's role moving forward. 72 games, 18 clean sheets, still decent in the Premier League. Who knows? If he adds more clean sheets, he become one of the best ever to have been seen at Manchester United. Well, it's talking about Manchester United. One of their legends just got sacked. It's an end of an era. What era? It was ever an era for Ruud van Nistelrooy at Manchester United, at Leicester City. Leicester City have finally confirmed the departure of manager Ruud van Nistelrooy more than 9 weeks after the club's relegation from the Premier League. And despite intense speculation and silence from the club, the decision was officially made public just days before the players returned for pre-season. Van Nistelrooy, who managed only 5 wins in 27 games. Is that, what's the percentage of that? I think that's 5% or 10. 5 out of 27 games.
It's less than, out of 27 games?
Yes.
Yeah, that's about 10%, over 10%, yes.
Oh. Anyway, and maybe he would have done better if he had stayed at Manchester United. Yeah, because they have better quality compared to Leicester City.
Well, I don't know. Jerry, I don't know.
Yeah, Man United have better players.
I don't think so.
Than Leicester City?
I don't think so. I still think that, see, the same time he joined Leicester City, it's the same time Amorim joined Manchester United, right? And
he was doing well,
Jerry,
before he was let go.
He was doing well how?
Yeah, it was still fair. Am I saying something here?
Well, my wife is a Manchester United fan. Let's
that's true.
He was doing well. With all due respect, he was doing well.
No, he was doing well. He has a better win ratio than Ruben Amorim.
Yes, his win percentage.
As per the number of games he handled under Manchester United, his win percentage was better than Ruben Amorim. How many games did Ruben Amorim win? I think Ruben in the Premier League.
But Maiwa, don't you think that is more of a reaction? Because most times when new players come, new coach manager come into,
at least the reaction rubbed off well.
Well, I mean, in the long run, that what would he have done?
True.
If he had stayed.
If he had stayed,
you cannot say,
Jerry.
Because you are going to be judged by your last game.
See,
you're going to be judged based on what you did when you were there.
We've seen this thing a lot of time. It doesn't tell. See, tactically, if you look at how he set up his team when he was Manchester United manager, if you look at the way he actually made changes,
he surely knew what he was doing.
No, Jerry. The players were just motivated. They just want to rally around.
That's totally unfair on Ruud van Nistelrooy. That's totally unfair to say that,
so
he was no.
I mean,
so
you're saying he's a better manager than Ruben?
I'm not saying that. His time was fair. Was very okay. Yeah.
His time.
His time at Man United was still fair. That is why Leicester were convinced to bring him on. They saw what he did at Manchester United.
Leicester took the chance because he's actually a manager for a top team. I mean, Man United boosted his CV. Leicester wouldn't have gone all the way to
without due respect, in the Eredivisie, he was still a very decent manager.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay, are you now going to say that Liverpool were stupid to bring in Arne Slot, who went ahead to win the league? I'm talking about the quality of the players he was using compared to Leicester City. Yeah. Mario, go ahead.
I mean, we cannot say that this was a top guy in the Eredivisie. He left the Eredivisie job because he wanted to have an experience in the EPL. That was why he decided to become an assistant under Erik ten Hag. And he has studied the team. He has been with the team for a while. When ten Hag was fired, he took the job, and the players were playing for him. The win ratio throughout his stay, he never lost any match. And because of Manchester United, being in the haste to appoint a Ruben Amorim that was supposed to come at the end of the season, they decided to chase him away. The quality in Manchester United, as much as we throw stickers them, is better than what he had in Leicester City. So definitely, you not expect him to go to a Leicester City and pull out or go to an East pitch and change their fortune. The kind of player they have, the quality of player they have, is not as good as a Manchester United, and you are playing heavy hitters.
At least Leicester City should have escaped relegation.
These were not his players. They were not his players.
We are talking about Amorim now. We don't consider that these guys are also not his players.
No, that's an excuse for
Amorim
was a top manager. All he needed to do was to stabilize what he met on ground.
In the case of Amorim, he met a quality side better than a Leicester side.
Quality side. You call that Manchester United side a quality side?
Yeah. Yes, better than Leicester City. better than Leicester City.
No,
Better than
they are on the
Leicester
same
City.
level.
See.
They are on the same level. Put on different jersey. They are on the same level. Put on different. How many Manchester United players? How many Manchester United players are testing players for top countries?
I never thought I would still be on this platform. And Ikechukwu will admit that this Man United side is not a quality side. Your king of comebacks are not a quality side anymore. So you are comparing that they are on the same level with Leicester City.
There's something that Jesse does to you, and he did it to those guys. It's not like they're top country players.
Wait, you are comparing them to Leicester City now.
Jerry, the difference is just in Jesse. United
I never thought we'll be on this platform and you say this.
Man United Jesse is poetic.
See,
you
should run for 2027. you should go and form your political party and run for 2027. You will succeed. You will do very well as a politician. No, why? No, I give it to this man. I doff my heart. You. This Man United side that you have dubbed the king of comebacks. You have seen a lot of things about them. Now you are giving.
I'm telling you why they are the king of
Amorim.
It is the jersey. It is the club. It is the history. It is not the player.
There's something like extra power. There's a talisman attached to Man United jersey.
Let's not take away the fact that the team you are playing for has something that it brings.
Let's look at this Leicester City side we are talking about. Who is their major man?
Are they supposed to be battling relegation?
They should be.
Why?
They didn't invest. They don't invest in buying players. They didn't invest in buying players. Most of the players were aging already.
Who's
their best player? Name one. Name who was the best player last season for Leicester City?
Jerry, is that supposed to be?
No,
we are looking at the team.
Compare it to Manchester United because now you are putting them on the same level. Leicester City. Name one.
Manchester United. Amorim met us at 11th.
11th. And took you to 17th.
Leicester was relegation.
Relegation zone before they brought Van Nistelrooy.
Okay.
The relegation was already setting before Van Nistelrooy came on board.
Relegation was always setting.
He was already setting before Van Nistelrooy came on board.
If it was setting already,
yes,
they wouldn't have sacked him.
They wouldn't have sacked him.
Yes, because they would have.
No, they want to make plans. Even the plans they're even making, as far as they don't invest in players, even if they bring Sean Dyche, they're already telling us that Sean Dyche is coming to make sure that they don't really, they at least try and make it to the Premier League next season. If they don't invest in buying players, they are not going to make it.
Because you remember this Chelsea manager brought them back to Premier League, right? And it was this same quality of players that he used to win. Apart from Ian and Choda.
I even understand.
Brought them back to Premier League.
I even understand letting Ruud van Nistelrooy go. Van Nistelrooy is not the kind of manager you expect to play in the Championship and bring it from the Championship to the Premier League. Because it's going to find it difficult. Sean Dyche has done it before. There are managers who are good at qualifying teams from Championship to the Premier League. For instance, if you carry a Jurgen Klopp to go and manage the Championship side, he might struggle. Because of the quality. He might struggle. He might. I'm saying he might. He might struggle.
The only difference is
he might struggle.
Jerry will not struggle. If you are good, you are good. It's going to be a league where you meet managers that are less tactical.
Let me tell you.
Easier to outwit them.
Let me not tell you. If Ruben Amorim had relegated Manchester United, the following morning they would have sacked him. They wouldn't even wait. Because if he takes them to Championship, that means he's going to relegate them to League One from Championship.
That's true.
Amorim would have relegated you from Championship to League One.
Yeah, you are so certain.
I'm very certain.
But for the case of Van Nistelrooy, you are not certain.
No, if they left Van Nistelrooy with
them,
they will not make it to the Premier League next season. I'm very certain. Leicester City will not make it to the Premier League next season. Because he would have struggled. He's a good manager. No. It depends on the quality of the side he's coaching.
But you agree with me that
there are managers who are good at some certain level of teams.
Stronger? Are you saying the Championship?
The Championship is a very difficult league.
Are you saying they have better managers tactically?
I'm not.
So why are you saying the manager that has managed the Premier League will not outwit managers there?
See, let me look at any story for instance. Look at the CV. There are some managers.
How many English side? How many Premiership side goes to the Championship and come back at once? How many of them? What's the ratio? It's very few. The Championship
there are managers who are good at it.
All good managers will do it if they go there. No. All good Premier League managers will do it with a stable team. They will come back. That's what I'm saying.
How many of them? How many
stable teams
taking them to the Championship and coming down immediately?
You say how many stable teams have relegated?
I mean,
Do you think Ipswich can come back next season?
See, the manager of Ipswich came from that particular pool.
Okay.
I'm looking at a manager that is, for example, like Sean Dyche.
Okay, do you agree with me that Ruben Amorim would not be able to make sure this Manchester United team come from the championship next season?
I cannot even go into this conversation because Man United cannot relegate.
You will relegate it on League One.
United will not.
See, he almost relegated. Time is up. We have to go. My big thanks for being a part of the show this evening. Have a great weekend. Of course, Ikechukwu, all the best with all your ambitions. And big thanks to the guys behind the scene, talking about the likes of Manfred, Adura, as well as Ikechukwu, not leaving out Jeremiah. My name is Jerry Apelai, saying stay safe, and if not, to talk to Sports.